Everyone online is arguing about which high-income skill is the best. That's the wrong bloody question. That's like arguing whether you want leather or fabric seats while the car is already on fire, rolling downhill, and your sat-nav has stopped giving directions and just says, repent. The real question isn't which skill is best. The real question is, which one gets you out before this city decides the terms for you? Because here's what actually happens when people choose blindly. You spend 3 months learning Facebook ads because some bloke on YouTube filmed himself next to a Lamborghini he definitely doesn't own. It's either rented, borrowed, or parked there like a hostage waiting for negotiations. You convince yourself it's leverage, even though you don't know what a CPM is, and your biggest client is your cousin's side hustle selling gym bands out of a damp garage with entrepreneur in his bio. Then you pivot to copywriting because it sounded more creative. Words are powerful, right? Until you realize you're rewriting the same sales page as everyone else, like a human photocopier with a Canva subscription and trauma. Then e-commerce, because passive income sounds nice, which is ironic because you are now more stressed than you were when you had a manager, a rota, and paid holidays. 6 months later, you're still living with your parents or in a flat share you hate. Same mold in the bathroom. Same passive-aggressive WhatsApp group about washing up that isn't yours. Still checking your bank balance before buying coffee like it's a medical procedure with risks you haven't been briefed on. That's not a learning journey. That's professional procrastination with better branding. And here's the part nobody likes admitting. London doesn't care. London doesn't care about your growth arc, your mindset, or the fact you're figuring it out. London is like a casino that charges rent. It lets you hang around as long as you keep paying, then quietly rinses 5 years of your life while you tell yourself you're building experience. And the cruel part? Every month you waste choosing doesn't just cost time, it costs energy, it costs safety, and eventually it costs options. People talk about wasted time like it's abstract. It's not. Wasted time in an expensive, tense city drains your ability to make bold decisions later. You don't just lose months, you lose momentum. You lose tolerance for risk. You lose the mental bandwidth to even imagine leaving. This is why people stay longer than they should. Not because they love it, because they're tired, because they're depleted. They don't leave London. London slowly leaves them, like a parasite that also sends you a council tax bill. So, let's talk about how to choose a high-income skill without wasting months on internet fantasies. Not because I want to sell you something, but because watching people make the same mistakes over and over again gets exhausting. Like watching someone touch a hot stove, scream, then write a Medium article called "Why Pain is Actually My Teacher." First, understand what you're actually choosing between. These aren't careers. They're not identities. They're not some heroic path to self-actualization where you discover your purpose and also get abs. They're vehicles. That's it. Different vehicles heading to the same destination. Fewer financial worries and more control over your time and location. Some people need a fast car. Some people need a reliable train. Some people need something that can handle potholes, detours, and British weather without collapsing emotionally like a wet paper straw. The mistake people make is treating these vehicles like personality tests. They ask, which one represents me? Instead of asking, which one gets me out fastest without crashing? Now, here are the vehicles that actually work, not the ones that sound sexy on podcasts recorded in someone else's kitchen. Appointment setting, access to conversations, high-ticket closing, access to decisions, property sourcing, access to deal flow, serviced accommodation, access to structured monthly cash flow, property flipping, access to lump sums, YouTube automation, access to attention systems, and crypto and forex trading, access to fat stacks of cash. None of these is better. They're just different exits. Now, let's slow down and talk execution, because this is where most people lie to themselves. Execution is not motivation, it's repetition. It's showing up on days where nothing happens and doing the work anyway. Appointment setting means daily outreach, tracking numbers, improving conversion, and hearing no so often it stops feeling personal. Closing means objection handling, buyer psychology, and staying calm when someone says, "I need to think about it," like they're deciding the fate of a small nation. Property sourcing means agent relationships, investor criteria, and understanding that most deals aren't deals. They're hopes wearing spreadsheets. Serviced accommodation means systems, cleaners, pricing, regulations, guest messages, and fixing problems before they become reviews. Property flipping means timelines, buffers, contingency plans, and managing chaos while everyone else panics slightly. YouTube automation means research, scripts, thumbnails, retention, uploads, monetization, building a machine, not chasing dopamine. Crypto trading means risk management and emotional discipline. It means you don't trade because you're bored, you trade because the setup is there. Now let me be honest about London at the later stage. The longer you stay stuck, the smaller your world gets. You stop taking risks, you stop imagining exits, you optimize survival instead of escape. You start saying things like, "It's not that bad," which is never a compliment. It's a coping mechanism. You delay decisions because decisions feel expensive, not financially, emotionally. That's how cities win. Not by force, by fatigue. So fit matters more than formula. People or systems. Capital or no capital. Volatility or predictability. Boring consistency beats exciting inconsistency every single time. Calm beats chaos. Predictable beats exciting. Stability creates options. Options are what let people leave. And here's the final truth. When you're standing on that tube platform, pressed against strangers, feeling that low-level dread you've normalized, you won't care about the perfect skill. You'll care about the one that worked, the one that paid, the one that gave you options. Pick it, learn it properly, execute it consistently, because there's no perfect skill. There's just the one that gets you out before the city decides for you.